Okay, we're working on assignment 9, which is building your first website. We need to open Dreamweaver. We need to define our site. Let's go to Site, New Site. Let's name our site. So you should name your site Chapter 3. I'm going to name my site something slightly different because I already have a Chapter 3. We're going to navigate to our assignment folder and click on Chapter 3, choose, save. Okay, so you should have a Files tab, and inside where it says Local Files, you should have Chapter 3 for your site, and then inside of that you should have a couple files, one called Ray the Werewolf, which is an image, and one text file. Alright, we're going to create a structure for our website. So first thing we need to do is create a home page. So we're going to click on our site folder, right click it actually, choose New File, and for the name we're going to call it index.html. Make sure that anytime you're naming web files that you're using lowercase letters, and also no spaces. So if you need to separate words in a file name, then you're going to want to put an underscore or a dash. Okay, so next thing is we are going to create an images folder. So let's again click on the site folder, right click it rather, choose New Folder, and type the name Images. Let's drag our Ray the Werewolf image into the Images folder, and we need to refresh it so that we can see that it's inside, and refreshing it would just be a matter of clicking on this little arrow so we can see Ray the Werewolf.png is inside of our Images folder. So let's create 4 new folders, one for each page of our site. So we're going to do it the same way. We're going to right click on our site folder, choose New Folder. First folder is going to be called About. Next folder will be called Contacts. Contact. Next folder will be called Rates. Next folder will be called Services. Okay, now we need, for each one of these pages, we need to have an HTML file. So we have our home page, which is index.html, but we need an index.html inside each one of these folders. So let's right click on the first one, so About, and choose New File, and then just type the name index.html. And we'll do the same thing for the other folders. All right, so we can see our site structure here. We've got our home page, we've got an images folder, we have a folder for each one of our other pages, about, contact, rates, and services, and inside of those folders we have an HTML file for those pages. All right, so for now, let's just go ahead and close up these folders. Let's open our index.html so we could double click it, and let's open our website-specs.txt. Alright, so we have 2 tabs now. We have a tab with our text file or the text of our file being displayed, and then we have another tab that shows our home page. And right now our home page is blank. If you have the split screen view, then you'll see that there's a well, right now it's on live view, but we could switch it to design view, and then we have our code over here. If your screen doesn't look exactly like this, that's okay, because right now we're in split screen mode. We could go to code only, we could go to design only, or we could split, and we can also, under view, we can choose different split modes. We could split horizontally. I prefer vertically, but you know, that's a preference that is up to you. So I'm going to switch mine back to split vertically. Another thing that we should do is to bring out our properties window. So if yours is not visible, which mine is not, I'm going to the Windows menu, choosing properties, and we get this floating window. Let's go ahead and move that window down to the very bottom of our screen, and until this little, you see a little blue bar appear, and then let go, and that will attach this window to the bottom of our screen so that we have it available when we need it. All right, so let's add a title to our page. Let's click on Page Properties and take a look. So if we go to Title and Coding, that category, we see our document type is HTML5. Then we see that the title of the document is currently untitled. So we need to put a title in here. Let's cancel this out for the moment. Go to our Text tab. Highlight our company name, which is called Werewolves Unlimited Security Services. Go back to our web document. Click in the design view to show the choices in the properties menu. Go to Page Properties, Title and Coding. Click and highlight the text that's already there, and Command V to paste your text. And notice that when we paste our text into the page properties, it shows the document title in this text field in the properties window, and it also has replaced the default text in the code with our title. And we also need to add the word home to our title, and the instructions say that we should add the word home after the name of the company. So we can add that in one of two, in either down here, document title, we can type it in there, or we could type it directly into our code. So let's type it directly into our code, and we can hit refresh on the properties window, and again that title is reflected down in our properties window. If we want to show all our options, again, click on the design view so that you can see your other options that are available. Let's go back to our text, and we're going to Command A to select all the text, Command C to copy, go back to index.html. Okay, so we're going to, in design view, let's go ahead and Command V. We're going to paste our text into the design view. And when we do that, if we look over in the code view, we can see that that text automatically came in between our opening body tag and our closing body tag. And that's really important because that means that anything that is between those two tags is going to display in a browser window. So next thing we need to do is to determine, we need to cut some of this text out. So this text document that we received is kind of formatted like it's coming from a client and it's sort of casual. You can see there's a greeting up here and some notes and things like that. And we need to just get rid of anything that's not going to actually be part of the final web page. So I'm just following, I'm looking on here and I'm saying, okay, well, everything above here can go. So I'm going to select all the text I want to edit and just delete. All right, so I'm going to keep doing that. Okay, so once you have edited out any text that is unnecessary, then you will want to, we'll go to Page Properties again, and we're going to go to the Appearance panel. So Appearance, we're going to click on the Appearance CSS. We want our default font for our page to be Baskerville. And we want to click on the margins and type in 0. All right, let's hit OK. And notice how we have some inline CSS code inserted into our HTML. So it shows us the CSS style for the body text, and then it shows us the margins. And I actually am going to fix this. It should say pixels, PX, after each of these. So our margins on all sides are 0 pixels. Okay, so we are going to add a little bit more text back into this document. Let's go to our website specs text document. And let's select the list of pages that the client is saying that he wants to include as part of the site. So I'm highlighting those, Command C, going back to my index.html and choosing Command, determining where these should be placed in the text. And this is going to be placed right under the tagline, let us protect your stuff with a snarling pack of crazed creatures. So I'm going to hit return and Command V and paste my list into the text. Now we have to make a few modifications. So we need to delete the asterisk at the beginning of the line, of each line, and the words in parentheses after the names of the pages. We're going to change the name of the word pages to navigation. What we want is for each one of our page titles to be spaced evenly in its own separate paragraph. And currently we have a list, and if we look in the code view, we can see that our list starts with a paragraph and ends with a paragraph, and then after each page name we have a line break. And we want to get rid of these line breaks and rather have paragraph breaks instead. So I'm just going to paste over these breaks with my code that would have a tag for a paragraph. So I'm just copying and pasting. And when I do that, each one of these lines becomes its own paragraph. So that what that means is that there's a little bit of a margin or gap between each of these lines. All right, so we're going to convert this list into what's called an unordered list, which is a list with some bullet points at the beginning of it. So let's highlight all the page names in our text, and then in the properties panel, let's just choose, click on the unordered list button. And we can see that when we do that, it automatically creates the code for an unordered list. And actually, I have an extra little paragraph end tag here, so I'm going to delete that. All right, so here's my list. I'm going to highlight it. I've got an unordered list opening and closing tag, and then each item in the list has its own list opening and closing tag, and this is what yours should look like. And here's the result in the design view. Okay, we're going to link these page names because this is going to become our interactive menu that allows us to go to different pages in our website. So we're going to start with home page. So highlight home page, go to the link field in your properties window and type in index.html. And we can see in our code that a hyperlink tag appears and the name of the file that we're linking to, and homepage is the text that's going to be displayed. Our text turns into a hyperlink. It becomes blue with an underline. Okay, let's continue linking our navigation. So let's choose About Our Team. Down in our Properties window, let's choose this little point to file icon, click it and drag it to the document that you want to link up. When I do that, it does become a hyperlink. You can see the code insert with the correct tags, and you could see the link, the file path. So the file path is the About folder, and the file name is index.html. So we'll do the next one. All right, so in the code, just double check that you have the proper file path for each link. So each folder contains an index.html. It's really important that the index.html is in the correct folder, so the correct file path is there. You wouldn't want the services page to link up to the contacts page, in other words.